And here we are back. We just got done doing our prize giveaway podcast, showing our Lurking Spirit bag that we're giving away. We are doing this podcast to answer some questions that we received and also to address some of the issues that was on our last video, plural videos, both good and bad. So to start out with, Abby has on her phone a couple questions that we would like to answer first.
All right, so the first question comes from somebody named Dave Dominic. They said, how you guys get the stuff you need and what kind of camera do you guys have? So we get our ghost, like our spirit stuff, haunting stuff, like from Amazon and from that Paranormal Attic place,
I've
right?
used Amazon. I got my camera from Walmart. I've used Ghost Stop, and I've also used St. Augustine, Ghost St. Augustine. You can also go through any of those. I don't know if Ghost Stop does it. I think they have their own payment plan thing, but you don't really need to get anything expensive, but if you do go on somewhere like Walmart or Amazon, depending on what price is, you can get it on Affirm, plug for Affirm. What they will do is they will set up a monthly payment plan for you, and you can either choose like 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, depending on what the price range of the equipment that you get. But the camera that we use is a DVC 4K. It has the night vision, it has the speaker with it, it has the infrared light with it.
You can,
No, go ahead.
you can get it on Temu for $94, which is cheaper than it would be to get it on Amazon or Walmart or any other site.
And those Temu people, I've bought from Temu for probably 2 years now. They're based out of Boston, Massachusetts. They're a good company, never had any issues. They will give you a date. They'll say, for example, your item should be between the 7th and the 14th. If you don't get it by the 14th, they will find out where it is, and you can probably expect it at least a day or two after that, but they will give you a $5 credit towards your next order. So for all those naysayers of Temu, bunch of bull crap. They're a very good company. I've not had one issue with them. If you order from Wish, believe me, you shouldn't have no problem with Temu, because Temu is legit. Wish is the one you need to question.
That's for sure.
So,
As for our talking apps, we just download them from the Play Store. One of them costs like 10. I think it's the Necrophonic. Or
no, I don't have
Necrometer. I think that's 10, and then you can't see it anymore because you bought it.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna show. We do Spirit Talker.
That's like 5.
And Necrometer, which is I think $9.99.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, Spirit Talker is like $5, $4.99, something like that, and then the Necrometer is like 10 or $9.99, whatever. So that's what we use for that.
I know a lot of people have doubts about because they're a phone app. Let me just tell you this: we are big fans of Twin Paranormal. Excuse me. Plug. They use both Spirit Talker and Necrometer. They just used Spirit Talker on their last video, and they were at a grave site. Coming through on the Spirit Talker gave them Crossroads, is where they were at. It gave them Grave, which is where they were at. It gave them the nickname of the person that was supposed to be buried there. It gave them the name on the cross, which was buried there, and it said cross. And it even said Ryan's name, and it said other stuff like that. So if you're doubting it,
we will tell you, though, if you want to download apps, those two are the best to download. Do not download GhostTube or any other ghost app that's like, you will catch real ghost evidence. because they're most likely fake. But those two are the most accurate ones that we've ever used, and we can say that with so much experience using them. So,
Well, as we mentioned, all the equipment we have is relatively cheap, and you don't really need expensive stuff to catch anything. You can just use simply a flashlight, and you can get answers on the flashlight.
Yeah, just a simple, regular, everyday flashlight. You can set it, or you can use a mag light. Yeah, just a simple flashlight, which if you watched our video, you'll see the response we got in it. I did buy, to get back to Temu, I bought one of my EMF readers off Temu. I bought, I think well, of course, cat balls. You can get them a dime a dozen through like Walmart net, and those are very, very great pieces of paranormal equipment. But yeah, you don't need to go through a whole lot of expense just to start out. The camera that I got, we're going to get a better camera eventually, but I think I paid $104 for it, and it takes great videos, and we have not any problems with it. You can get a little GoPro, cheap GoPro too. So anything like that, you don't need to go through a lot of expense.
All right, so moving on from that, we have another question from one of our viewers. Their name is Carrie's Keen 830, and they asked, did the spirits at Ryan's home show themselves at all during our home investigation?
for our investigation on the camera, if you can, once you watch the videos, we didn't catch any shadows or apparitions of anything, but we did catch a lot of evidence that there is something definitely there haunting her place.
Well, we kind of did catch a shadow in the basement.
Well, that's what I was going to go to, so.
Well, I was gonna say upstairs. At least upstairs. Now downstairs, if you watch the third part,
Yes.
the
I
third
think.
part of our home investigation at Ryan's house,
I think that it could have been the second
the
part.
third.
It was the part. Oh, was it the third?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
the third. It was the very last part.
behind the stairs,
Lurks the spirit.
in the basement, as Chase and Ryan are walking up the stairs,
Yeah.
as soon as they get to the door, they're not even by the light anymore. You can see a shadow appear around the corner of where the stairs are. It looks like it was following them either up the stairs or watching them while they were walking up the stairs. That's the only compelling,
Spiritual evidence.
yeah, like physical
Yeah.
evidence that we've caught. Everything else was pretty much electronic and verbal.
Now, however, we have done the Estes method. For anybody who watched us or has any familiarity with the paranormal and equipment, the Estes method is where you use the spirit box and you adjust the radio frequency where it's like all staticky. It's doing a speed between channels and that. You put on headphones, and they're noise canceling headphones. You put on a mask. Everything around you, the only thing is silence from around you and that staticky when the station's coming through in your ears. Anyhow, I caution people when they do that. I know we let Ryan do it, but please be careful if you do it. Gabrielle and I have both done this, and if you do it the right way, you almost go into a trance, and you can take yourself almost to another plane. And what I mean by that is you just, nothing around you like exists, but you go to this next level. And when you hit that next level, you have to be careful, because then that's where something bad could happen. Well, anyhow, when we were down in the cellar and I was doing the Estes method on the steps, I was answering questions, I guess, when Abby and Ryan was talking to the spirits and asking me questions. You will see in our video, Ryan will get touched, and she I'm not going to say screamed, but she yelled out, and she ran. At that exact same time that that happened, my left side started getting icy cold. Now, I was in that next plane that I'm talking about. When I was in that next plane, I saw a shadow figure, a man, approaching me from that same side, my left side. And as it got closer, my left side started getting colder. Now, just was it was ready. I don't know if it was going to touch me or what he was going to do, but just as he got right by me, that's when I heard the scream or yell, whatever you want to call it. And I was just about to take my headset and that off, but they had tapped me out. So if you want to call that as encountering a spirit, fine. If not, you can call me crazy. I'm cool with that. But that's what I saw. But I am cautioning people when you do that Estes method, please be careful. If you watched any episodes of The Osbournes with Jack, you'll see that he took Sharon on one, and she was doing it, and she literally something.
Especially if it's not.
No, you're good.
But especially if you feel like you're a little bit sensitive to the paranormal or to something
Just be careful.
unexplainable that you've just always felt your entire life. If you do this method, you really do need to be careful, because when you're in that state of mind, it almost feels like you're floating out of your own body.
It does.
And it is the weirdest feeling ever. And I don't know if anybody else ever has this experience, but me and Mom both know how it feels, because I thought I was the only one that was feeling this way. And then I explained it to Mom, and she was like, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, because that's happened to me before. And
so far, Gabriella and I, when we got to that level of transient state, however you want to say it, we knew how to hurry up and pull ourselves back, fortunately. But that's where you have to be careful, because I think that's what happened to Sharon on Jack's episode. I think she got, and because she didn't know what to do, she wasn't able to pull herself out of it, and it took her out. She was out for the count. She had to go to the hospital. So just please be careful. Getting back to the equipment too, even something like this is a regular motion light. You can get something like that. That was a odd change of subject there with the topic.
Well, with the Estes method too, I had one of my friends ask me why I personally don't do it, and I don't trust myself enough. Like, I am okay with doing investigations and talking to spirits and stuff like that, but me myself, I feel like I would be susceptible of something jumping me, because I don't know how to get back into the thing like they do. And I just don't want to risk that and have something bad happen.
And the thing is if you know how to do it right, some people will put it on and they just hear, and they don't like focus completely out. Like when Gabriella and I believe Chase does it too, just totally focus, almost go into a trance. And when you're doing it legitimately like you're supposed to, that's where you have to be very, very careful, and you have to draw the line of when you get to that next plane, because I there's times that I got truly scared, and I'm glad I was able to pull myself out. When we were down in our old house in her room,
you kind of go into a meditative state of mind, and like we've said so many times, if you're not careful, then you could probably be trapped in that zone.
But I hope that answers your question about spirit. So in actuality, we didn't see a spirit physically approaching us or anything. We did see the shadow. But if you want to count what I saw, I know it for sure. It was a male figure. It was a shadow figure. And just as he was right by my left side, that's when everything behind me happened. And they pulled me out just as I was going to take the headphones off anyhow. So.
I'm trying to think. We've been having comments about our investigation, our private home investigation, that we understand things could have been different for that, but in the circumstances it couldn't have been. like one of the things was a lot of people were saying that we were talking over each other and we were being too loud. When you're on a live, no matter who does a live, you always have to reply to those people who are asking those questions. And in that time, Ryan was on a live, and she was answering questions for those people that were on the live, but she was also, if she didn't know the answer, she was asking us. And so that made it pretty impossible not to talk over each other because of how much it was going on. We apologize for it being kind of chaotic. As we said at the very beginning of our very first part, we were just having issues and whatnot.
First of all, there was a disclaimer put on our first video saying we apologize because we knew there was a lot of talking. You got to think of it this way. The homeowner was doing a live view. So she was explaining to her audience what was going on. While she was explaining to her what was going on, we were trying to do our investigating. So we were talking to the spirits. As they both were happening, her audience was asking her questions. So she was answering her audience questions. They were also asking her to ask us questions. So one of us would have had to answer her audience questions while we still continued our investigation. So there was the talking going on with our investigation. So the audience was asking her questions, and we were answering her questions, her audience questions, and our other investigators were doing their thing. So there's 3 different groups of people at one time that had no choice but to talk. When you're doing a live stream like that, you can, if it was us doing a live stream, we would have been able to have a little bit more control over it because we could have been taking time out. But when you have the homeowner doing her thing for her channel, and she's talking, she's responding to her crowd, she's responding to us, she's asking us questions, plus we're doing investigation. Please tell me how we were supposed to do it any different. You can't. It's impossible. We've even watched other paranormal groups that has that same thing happen, and they were doing their own live podcast, and they were noisy. It's just literally impossible to do a live podcast and an investigation without all of that. With that being said, Abby or Gabriella?
Well, I was also going to add to, we appreciate the comments you guys give us all the time. We absolutely love that you guys are liking our videos and putting comments to let us know if we're doing something wrong or whatnot. We love that. But we will ask, please don't be rude to us. We are easily able to take criticism and everything like that, but there's no reason to be rude to us.
Or disrespectful.
Or disrespectful,
Because there's a few comments that was just downright
it's not nice to be rude to us when we have been doing investigating for a while. It's just our YouTube channel's a little bit more new. But that doesn't mean that we're new ghost investigators. We've been doing this for a while. So
and overall, we've had great responses. We had people telling us, keep up the great work. We had, if you can check our channel, we had people from the UK, people from Australia that are other paranormal groups, and they said, hey, keep up the great work. I just found a new channel that I love, and blah, blah, blah. So we must be doing something right. We do understand we talk a lot. I'm talking a lot right now. We do understand that, but we're going to go back. Let's go back to South Carolina when we were doing Oakwood Cemetery. We got some of the same type of comments that you guys need to shut up and the camera problem and blah, blah, blah. But let me take you back to the first half of that video. When we were doing the first half, we had cars pulling up beside us, bothering us and interrupting our investigation. We had groups of people approaching us while we were trying to do investigating. We had all kinds of interruptions, so it was very hard to do a good professional style investigation when you have all those interruptions. If you watched our second half, everything was done very, very, very nice, very, everything fell into order, and that's when we got our best evidence, and we got the hell scared out of us. So that was probably one of our most creepy encounters
One way
that we
to put
had.
it.
Yeah, we encountered a skinwalker. You guys can laugh and whatever, say, hey, that lady, she's cracked.
You guys can call us crazy all week, all
You know,
want,
we
but
counted
we
a
know what
skinwalker.
we saw.
So,
But a few other things that we use.
yeah, we're going to intertwine.
Yeah, this video is probably going to be all over the place. We're
Yeah.
sorry, but that's just how
We're
we
just
roll.
trying to cover everything.
The thing is it's been a while since we've done this, and again, we apologize for that. It's just we've all been sick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wanted to get this out soon though, because we do notice you guys' comments, and we want to let you guys know what's going on and why we did what we did.
But a few other things that we use to investigate that are very cheap is these cat balls. They're literally like $7.
Yeah, you can get like 6 of them for $10 or something like that. They're real cheap.
You just press the button, turn it on, it blinks, you lay it down. Anything touches it or steps near it, it'll go back off.
It should go off.
Yeah,
soon.
I'm just gonna wait and watch. Well, that one's not a very good example, but I still touched it and it went off.
It
so.
still would go off in an investigation if there's something.
The energy from the spirit will help it go off as well. I don't know how much these were.
These aren't expensive. Both of these they're both different kinds of EMF readers. I got this one from Temu, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I think I paid like maybe $12 for it. And this one here is probably only $20. It wasn't.
Not to interrupt you, but also the prices for these things are on our equipment video. I have all the prices and where you can get them and stuff like that. So this podcast, we don't really want to go too much into equipment because we already made an equipment video. And I'll leave the link down below so you guys can watch it. But like they said, they're relatively
that's
cheap.
why we're not explaining like what they do or anything because we already explained how much they are and what they do and what they're used for.
And the prices on there aren't set in stone either.
No.
They could have went
vary.
down or they could have went up. So depending on where, Temu's fantastic for the basic stuff. You can get the basic stuff like the EMF readers and that really go cheap.
Yeah.
This wasn't that expensive either.
I don't know what that one was. Chase's he gave to you. I don't know what he
I don't
paid
think
for
it was
that.
that
I don't think it
expensive.
paid a lot.
So I can't tell you the price variant on this one, how expensive or cheap it was because my brother-in-law got it for me. But it's just a REM pod. It's kind of dying, but you get close to the antenna and it goes off. And
We actually love this little guy here, and I'll tell you why. He's hard to go off. And there's only 2 times that went off for us, I believe. And one was in our backyard at the old house, and one was in her bedroom in our old house. And the spirit has to be pretty strong for it to come through on there because that very rarely goes off. If it goes off, something is really close, and it's strong.
each
It
and
has
every
a lot of
time
power.
that this has went off, we've debunked or tried to debunk what made it go off, and we couldn't.
There was no.
Especially the one in our backyard. Now, a car went by, but it didn't shake the ground or anything.
No, it wouldn't have set it off.
And even when I went by it and stomped near it, it didn't even go off. So I don't know how it went off in our backyard and in my bedroom where we used to live.
Motion detectors like this one here, we've used it at Oakwood Cemetery. I don't know if I have batteries in this. Yeah, it's dead, I think. What flickered? This one, anyhow, it's just a regular, typical motion. Right there it is. Motion detector. It'll go off. Something goes by it, I think, within 10 or 15 feet. It'll set it off. you can use them. I like I said, I think I paid $10 for it. Something walks by it. We debunked a couple things up at the cemetery involving it, but there was a couple things that we weren't able to debunk because nobody was by it when it happened. But like I said, you don't need regular flashlight. Just untwist the back of it, or if it has the push button thing, just set it up. And that probably our best evidence has always been the flashlight.
Yeah, reversing course a little bit, back at the Portage Museum, I was going to ask, what would you guys say was the most interesting evidence that we got at Portage Museum?
Interesting.
I thought right at the beginning when Joseph came through with my gauze meter, and that room, that eerie room that we were talking to the grieving mother in, that I think that was, and then with the fedora up in that bathroom moving, I didn't see it move.
I really wish I got to record that for you guys, but that ended up being right after I put the camera away.
Another thing that I think was super compelling evidence and was really cool was, obviously, we didn't catch it on camera again, but it was really cool. Me and Chase started hearing this ringing, and it sounded like a bell. And there's a bell when you first walk in the door of the museum, and we thought that's what it was. Come to find out, you know those old telephones that when it rings it sounds like a bell? Well, I went upstairs into the main museum room, and there was one of those old telephones, and something was messing with it to where it was making that little dinging sound, the bell inside of it. And we can figure out what, because again, I walked near it, I even tapped it a few times, it didn't make the sound. You literally had to poke it really hard in order for it to even slightly make a sound. So I thought that was really cool. I'm sad that we didn't get to get that on
Yeah,
tape
there's
either.
stuff that we got that we experienced, but unfortunately our camera wasn't in the right direction, or was in between battery setup or whatever. Right when we were at Ryan's house, right at the very beginning, before she even started her live stream, we were getting activity like crazy. My gauze meter was going off, and something was responding to yes and no right to the gauze meter. So, which leads us, if there's any questions you have, any other questions pertaining to Ryan's video, please ask us. Our next video might be, I found on my phone a bunch going back to South Carolina from her room in our old house, clips of where we actually did catch a shadow. We caught weird shaped orbs, that we got noises, just different things. We also, too, I should have brought it over, I had this little globe that has all these lights in it. And before we even got some of our equipment, or before we even decided to use the flashlight, we used this globe, and we set the on-off button on the bottom right in between, so it just barely needed to be touched. We got responses on that, which we might put on that video, that we would say, if there's something here, could you make the lights inside go really, really bright? It would do it. Would say, can you flicker the lights? It would do it. Can you turn the lights completely off? It would do it. So it responded to everything. So that was kind of our first baby before we transitioned to the flashlight. But we're thinking of doing a compilation of that here, just as a end of the year finale for us, and maybe even a compilation of our best moments through all of the videos we've done so far, just so we have something out for you while we go on hiatus. We have some really exciting things lined up. We're just waiting back from the people on a date and time. So, but if you have any questions at all, just address them on our Lurking Spirits Facebook channel, underneath one of our videos on our
In the
YouTube,
comment section.
Discord.
Yeah.
Excuse
Speaking
me.
of Discord, I wanted to announce we do have a Discord now. That was said in the channel thing down below, the community thing, but I want to officially say we have a Discord up now. It's so you can meet our team, some of our team. You could play games with us if you want, but it'll have announcements for when our videos are up. It will have announcements when we have lives. It will also have the ability to what she was talking about, how we're going to do giveaways with gift cards and stuff. That's where that will be taking place, is at the Discord. We will have a separate channel for that on our Discord channels, so that way we can talk about that, and we'll probably do that probably at the beginning of the month. I mean, the beginning of the year or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the gift cards might only be like for $10 or something like that. But hey, that's a thank you for viewing and becoming our wonderful audience. We love all of you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have been getting all these views and that here that we're getting. We wouldn't have met our first goal, which we're so grateful for on our YouTube channel. So it's the least little appreciation we can do. And like I said, please also give the suggestions for would you like a hat? Would you like another one of those bags? Would you like a t-shirt? You know, kind of give us some ideas what, some of the prizes that maybe we'll even do a t-shirt and a gift card or something. So, we're up to suggestions.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys very much and all the support we get. We really do appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be doing any of this.
Yeah,
so.
Overall, we've gotten great responses. Yeah, we may be fairly new on YouTube, but I'm telling you what, you guys have been phenomenal, have really praised us. And when you start getting viewers from other paranormal teams out of the country, like, UK and Australia, and that says an awful lot, and it's heartfelt for us because we're very passionate about what we do. We're not a bunch of just redneck yokums out there that's just, trying to put a channel on for views. We're authentic, we're passionate about what we do, and we cannot thank you enough for the audience that we have already created for the short time that we've been out. And just so grateful for it and appreciate you very, very much.
Is there anything you want to add, Gabriella? That you can think of?
We appreciate that you stopped in to say hi to us and to check out our channel and everything that they said.
And when you watch our next video, when we go back to Ryan's, just please be patient with us. I know some of you, said, oh, the camera person needs to do this and you need to be quiet now. But when we do our next video, watch, especially if she's not doing a live stream, you're going to see a big difference.
Oh, speaking of the camera moving and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm usually the camera person, so what I do is when I'm recording, I will record the team, obviously, when they're doing their investigation, but if I see something in the corner of my eye, I put the camera over there because I'm hoping to catch it. And my philosophy is, as a camera person, your job is to catch most of the events that happen in your investigation. So, like, for Crybaby Bridge, when we found that apparition, if it wasn't for me moving the camera to show Mom after Chase said that he saw something, we would have never caught that, because that was part of my moving the camera, which caught that. I want people to know that when you're a camera person, your job is to be the second eyes to everybody. So what you're seeing, you better have the camera watching too. So like I said, at the Crybaby Bridge, there was times where I swear to God there was something beside me. So I moved the camera that way so I could take it. Or when they were talking and then the REM pod's going off, I'm going to get them talking and then I'm going to get the REM pod, because I want you guys to see all the evidence that we captured. especially in the private home investigation, which was insane with the amount of
Yeah.
stuff we caught with that one.
And then keep in mind, we only have 2 cameras. We have the handheld camera, which, like she said, if she sees something that we might not see, it just might be that right moment when she focuses there. She might end up being the first one to catch as a full-fledged spirit, shadow person, or whatever, in somebody, in one of the private investigations or something. And we have the little GoPro camera that we had down in the basement. We're hoping come beginning of next year sometime to get another camera. If we get another camera, we can have one on a tripod set up in the room, just filming everything, and then she can have the handheld or whoever may take the camera over at the time and going around what they may see in that so that we can edit both. But we're not rich. So for the equipment that we have, for the finances that we have, we're doing pretty darn good. But that's another thing that we're please asking you to be patient for, because with only having the 2 cameras, I think she does a damn good job. And, it's like she said, if she wouldn't have focused when she did, we would have missed that apparition behind Chase when he said he saw a face beside me. And it's just that's the luck of the game right now. It might be irritating to you as a viewer, but you got to understand our point of it too. But as the year goes on, we're going to get a little bit more equipment. Again, we are not rich, so we only can pick up a thing here or there. But an extra camera is definitely one of the things in our future will help some of ours so that you won't see all of that jumping around with the camera. So I'm hoping that answered a question for you or solved some of the issues that you were having
We are
with everything.
trying our best for every new video that comes out to change up our techniques of how we hold the camera and how much we talk and who gets to talk first and who gets to get put under the Estes method. We try to strategize that before every video, but sometimes during the moment, that's just not how it works, and we can't control that. So we just need you guys to understand that as much as we've planned out, sometimes things don't go as planned.
Especially with the home investigation, we had to respect her. She was doing her live stream, so everything went under her orders and her direction, and we were not going to disrespect her. We were so grateful that she had us over her house. We are so grateful. We love her to death. That she was so grateful to us for finding the evidence that we did catch, so that she can prove to her audience that she's just not a wacko or something. She has shit going on at her house. And she has a lot of shit going on, but none of it is evil. We were going to address that too.
Yeah.
The cleansing. There was some issues in there. Well, why didn't you cleanse the house? We could. We know how to do a cleansing. We know how to do a smudging. But consider we are paranormal investigators. We are not a priest. We are not a shaman. We are not a demonologist. We are not a Reiki master. We are not a demonologist. We are not a psychic or medium. In order to do a proper cleansing on her house, if she feels that she needs that, our best suggestion to her or anybody asking why we didn't do it would be to seek one of those out, because they know what they're doing, they know how to do it, they know the proper channels to do it so that it makes things right for her. Because if we try to do it, we know how, but we don't do something right, just one step right on it, we may make things worse for her. Now, according to what I heard, Ryan did get a couple cleansings done already. And I think the reason why they didn't work or she's still having issues is because the majority of the spirits in her house are residual and traveling spirits. The Lewis, the protector, and the lady, they are intelligent, but they're just there to help her. The residual spirits, if you don't know what that is, the grumpy old man, I believe he's a residual. He lived on that land, on a property, in a building, maybe a business, something there prior. He was a real nasty ass in his living life, and he's doing the same thing in his as a spirit.
Mhm.
He's a grouchy old man. Now, when we go back, we're going to try to find out why he's so grouchy. Apparently, we touched base on it a little bit, that he had a woman that scorned him somehow, hurt him somehow, whatever. Something happened to him that caused him to be this way. He interacts with Ryan, but I don't think it's that he's interacting her as herself. He's interacting her as the woman that was in his life, that when he's reliving his life when he was alive, she happens to be in the place of that woman. That's how residual works.
Mhm.
The intelligent Lewis and the lady, they're going to be protecting the children. They come and go. We think they came from other places. There's going to be tons of spirits. They just come and go. Their property, who knows, there could have been sacred land there. There could have been graveyard there at one time. They're harmless.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, we're pretty positive that she has a portal in her basement. And it's not bad, though. It just means that there are spirits that will come and go like a doorway. And they'll come in, visit, hey, how's it going? And then they'll leave. Which, I mean, it could be a problem later on if like the atmosphere changes in her house, like, and people get angry at each other and fight and whatnot. Yeah, that can make a big situation worse. But right now, her home is pretty okay. I mean, she'll have spirits once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
not anything to worry
And
about.
she said that she found out that there was, I guess, 2 teenagers that was using a Ouija board up in the bedroom, and we did get bedroom on our spirit talker. They could have opened the portal up there, but I was a teenager once. I'm going to be honest. We don't believe in Ouija boards and stuff and that now, but when I was a teenager, I used Ouija board and I used worse. I used a Kabbalah. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Kabbalah, but I used a Kabbalah. We're pretty sure we might have conjured up something because we had a pretty interesting experience. But anyhow, we, as a teenager, hey, up in the bedroom, probably nothing happened. They probably thought the Ouija didn't work, so they probably took it down in the basement. Well, when they took it down in the basement, guess what? That's probably when they conjured up, who knows, Lewis, or, I mean, not Lewis, the grumpy old guy, whatever. So, and that was the other issue that I was going to address down in the basement. We say we don't antagonize or provoke. Many of you are going to say, well, if you don't provoke, then Diane, why did you, when you come out of the spirit box and you found out that Ryan was touched, why did you hurry up and go over and you provoked? Yes, I did, but no, I didn't. I didn't even realize that I actually went over and done that until a few moments later when I went into my motherly protective mode. I adore Ryan. Ryan said she got touched. My motherly instinct said, okay, go over, take care of business. I do that with my children now. You bother my children, you do something, Mama Bear's going to step in. That was my instinct down in the basement. She said she got touched. Guess what, buddy? You don't touch my friend. If you want to touch somebody, you touch me. That's what that is. So I wasn't antagonizing, I wasn't provoking. That was just my motherly instinct took over because we don't like. Now, every now and then we might antagonize a bit just to try to see if we can jar up something, but we will stop. We will let it go. Just if we see something might be happening, then we just let it go there. We don't believe in any of that. It doesn't do any good. It just more harm in the long run.
Yeah, and what we wanted to say too is I wasn't at the investigation with James' house, but him antagonizing, that was all him, and something took over him because he was in such a calm mood and everything, and then as soon as he got in that one room, his mood changed, and then after he went back to his normal self. And me and her personally know James very well. He's a really good friend of ours.
He's very calm.
And he's always been very calm and very sweet talking. He really doesn't get angry that much. So we knew that was not our friend.
And as you could tell, if you watch that video, that's the other private home investigation that she's talking about. He antagonized, he provoked, and something took over.
You
Yeah.
will hear in my voice how scared he
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
made
he scared
me
her badly.
when I was talking to Mom, like, what are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna leave this in, or like, what are we gonna do? Because of the reason that we kept on saying that we don't provoke anything, and then he just kind of went off, and that really surprised us. And like I said, I was so scared. I didn't know what we were gonna do at the moment.
I think I was scared too because we looked at each other like, what's going
I
on
was
here?
like, Mom.
And then once he walked out of that room and went back into the dining room where the piano was, he was just his old self, all over
Yeah,
again.
he was all happy, jolly.
Yep.
He was talking to his mom.
But that was another investigation where there was a lot of talking and that going on. It was his house. We wanted to please him because he was kind enough to want us over there to investigate. So we kind of let the ball roll in his direction. He understood that we were doing the investigation, but you know, if somebody welcomes you into their house, even though you're doing an investigation, it's their house. You have to have respect for them. You know, you might. I mean, you can say to one point, hey, you know, we need to have some quiet. We did, which we did say to James a couple times, but you can't disrespect them either. And in Ryan's case, she was doing a live stream. There's no way we're going to disrespect her for her channel because she invited us there. So
Yeah,
it was all about her.
Also, why we let him go under the Estes method, because it was his house and he wanted to try it out. And we were like, okay.
Now you're jumping back to James' house so they know.
Yeah, sorry. Back to James' house. The first private home investigation, which is also why we let him do the Estes method, because he wanted to try it out. And we did warn him. We were like, you just got to be very careful. Try not to zone out completely. And he understood, so got a lot of evidence there that his mom was still in that house.
And if you notice, right at the very beginning of that video, when we walked into the room where I did the Estes method and where we were for a while, right at the very beginning, I walked in that room, and I didn't know at the time, but it was his mother's room, and that's who he was trying to contact. As soon as I walked in that room, I broke down and cried. I had to walk out of the view of the camera. I don't know what it was, but my emotions just, it's almost like I felt her
Agree.
grief, wanting to see her baby boy again, and there her baby boy was. So
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but when I went back in there, I was in better shape. But we wanted to address a lot of these issues like that because, like I said, we do appreciate our audience. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. Can we improve? Yeah. Obviously, we know we have a lot of issues that we need to fine tune. But then again, you've got to consider we do have to get another camera. If we're doing a private investigation and the person's doing a live stream, we have to respect their wishes, their stream. You have to take in all the factors before you cast judgment. As we are doing our best, if we weren't as passionate about what we do, we wouldn't still be doing it. So all we ask is just please, please, please be patient with us, and please try to understand our end. We're there, and we know what we're doing and how things are progressing or not progressing. So just please be patient with us. We have room for improvement. We know that, and we're going to do our best to bring out the best videos we can.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, my ass hurts.
So to final on that, again, any questions, suggestions, price suggestions, suggestions for upcoming videos? I wish I could give you a hint of some of the places that we are. One we know we got, we're just waiting for the date. Another one we're trying. If you have any questions pertaining to any of that, just send us some questions, and we will do the best to try to answer whatever we can. But prize giveaways once a month, probably starting the beginning of the year. This Friday coming up will be the drawing for the prize giveaway for the pouch, backpack, whatever you want to call it, tote.
Also for the Discord.
Sorry, that's the dog.
Also for the Discord, I wanted to let you know, if you do join the Discord, we will have little secret pictures and stuff, like behind the scenes. Leo!
He's on. Oh, okay.
Of the places that we're investigating. We'll have like a little snippet and stuff for those people exclusively for Discord. So if you join, you'll be able to see those little sneak peeks and everything like that. And we also have a rule on there for our, we'll say, trying to think of it, our top fans, people who've been there since the very beginning. Those people, battery's dying again. Those people will be able to see things that other people won't, because it's to show our appreciation to you guys for the ones that stayed with us for this whole time.
We're gonna call you our OGs.
Yeah, our OGs.
Our OG fans.
I don't know what that is, so until they tell me about Discord Net, that's all new to me. So, so our battery's about ready to run dead again. Last final note, if you are in favor of us doing little snippets of all of our videos so far, our best moments, and doing that as one of the finale videos for the year before we end the year, please comment and let us know about that. Again, the price suggestions for possible, maybe another private investigation we can do, or another location, anything like that, please let us know. And with that, we will say,
Stay
Stay spooky.